Is Audacity recording?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to wake the fuck up. Hello and welcome to a new episode in this series of Unprofessional podcasts. Caleb,
Jack!
can you believe that it's already been a month since E3?
Yes,
You can?
I can.
It feels like a goddamn year to me.
That's what happens when you're hard at work.
Yeah, you've been hard at work, mate. You've been smashing out the videos. Good job.
Thank you.
Have you been
I'm
enjoying
honored.
it?
Yes,
That's good.
I've been enjoying it.
That's always good when you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
How far ahead have you got planned again?
I was looking at my schedule, and up till, like, December, but nothing is... You know, everything's malleable.
Yeah, you got an
It's
idea
all-
of what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm keen for your episode coming up later this week.
Oh, yes.
Very.
That's being edited.
Is it-
when I was making it, I was like, this is just the fucking worst thing. It's so unstructured, and I just go off on random, like, topics and shit, but now that all the audio has been cut together and the video is in there, it's like, you know what? This might be good.
It should be good. I like when that happens, where you just hate it until it's done, and then it's like, this is the best
That's-
video I've ever made.
That's what's been happening to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I'm just not happy until it's the final product, and I'm like, it's not that bad.
No, the videos lately have been really good. Not that they weren't good
Thank you.
before, but you can just tell that you've got a newfound excitement for doing it.
Yes. I wake up every morning excited.
Yeah. That's good.
Go to sleep excited. I eat dinner excited.
You just
I
amped up
shower
the whole
excited.
thing. Yeah. God. What are your favorite types of videos to make? Like, because I was thinking, because my Midas Games episode literally just went up, and like those sorts of compilation videos where you look at like multiple games in one video. I not to be up my own ass or anything, but
Too late.
I don't think I've made a single one of those types of videos that's like truly awful.
No, they're good. You're right in
Versus
saying that.
versus like where I'm just looking at one game or whatever. It's like it's like, I mean, obviously there's good and bad ones, but it's like you know, I don't like they seem to bomb a lot more than the compilation videos. And like,
I get where you're coming from.
have you ever done one of those compilation sort of reviews?
No, the furthest thing I've done is when I reviewed Troll 2. And that's...
That, speaking of a lifetime ago.
Jesus, dude. That
Troll
video
2.
is older than the up because it's a re-up.
Oh
Oh my god.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh man. I mean, if it's any indication, as much as I enjoy doing top 10s, I simultaneously hate them. And those are kind of considered compilation,
Yeah.
whatever pronunciation.
Why do you
want.
hate doing list videos?
Because I like to have a structure, and with that, it's one thing, then it's another thing. I like a simple, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's why this works, here's why this sucks, here's why this game looks good. And maybe it's because I haven't made that many top 10s. There's only like maybe 4 or 5 top 10s. I don't even call them top 10s. I wanted to be, oh, these are the definitive now. But, I remember I told you that one time. I was like, "That's my gimmick. This is the," and so I think I just have to give it time and have more practice. You know,
I just think it's
the workload.
I just think it's interesting that you say that the top 10s you don't like the structure or the format of it, because for me that's like the most, like, it's like the best format video like ever. That's why so many people do like list and countdown videos, because it's just such a great
It's
formula.
the easy way out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a fucking, I hate to say it, but it's an easy day in the editing shop for me, because it's like,
But
you just
Oh,
look, it's
man.
like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do 10 through 6, and then I'll do the others tomorrow or whatever. And it's like in between each one, you get up and have a bit of a stretch and a break and stand in the sun and get some fresh air and come back, and it's like, it's really like chill and casual, versus like a review where yesterday I sat here for I think like 7 hours straight and just edited a full review.
fuck, dude, I marathon both. Like it's ridiculous. So I don't know exactly what you're talking about when it's you get up and have a stretch, but you like the variety, and that's respectable. I don't know. I like structure, and I like having this and this and this and this, and there's like no in-betweens. I don't know why.
Is it just that maybe there's not enough time in a top 10 video to go in depth with certain things?
Sometimes I'll have like the greatest idea and then I have nothing to say about it because it's like, well, what do I say about this? Like, if anything, it's just good enough that it's on the list because hopefully someone else hasn't come up with it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. Like, a lot of times it's like, I'll think of something that's good and I'll get to writing it. And it's like, I have like a sentence to, well, I have like a sort of long sentence to explain what it is, why it's there, and then the second sentence is like some sort of joke or like observation, and then move on. Like,
And what's up with these graphics? Fucking hell, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I just... It's not for me, alright? That's why I only have one top 10 planned this year, and it's the most predictable one ever, because it's in a series of top 10s that I've done, so...
God, I think I can just guess what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Fuck. But I like the consistency of it, though. It's like, even if you only do one a year, if it's part of a series, then it's kind of like, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, and then... okay, no. I have two. Not that it really fucking matters. And how am I gonna say I don't like compilation videos when I have a video, when I want to make one about Star Wars games and then bad horror games?
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm such a fucking hypocrite, but that's just how it is, you know what I'm saying?
Well, mate, like you said, though, maybe once you get some more experience with doing those sorts of videos, you'll like it more.
I guess so.
I don't know, like, because I didn't sleep last night. I'm laying in bed thinking about this shit. It's probably why I didn't get to fucking sleep. But I was just like thinking back, like over all the fucking, 4 or 5 years I've been doing this, that it's like all these like compilation videos. They're all like some of my best videos out of the year. You know, like I can do. Fuck, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example.
Phoenix Games. I don't...
Well, it's like this year. I can do like Walking Dead Survival Instinct. That's a good video, and it's like a revisit of like an old thing I did, and it's shit, and it's easy to make fun of, and there's lots to say, and that's all well and good. But like compare that to like this week's Midas Games video or the Simpsons mobile games episode. There's just no comparison for me. Like those videos are just so much better. They're so much more entertaining, and like I think it might just be because there's so much in there. It's very quick fire, like. Like a top 10, like it never slows down. It's just constantly moving. Whereas with a regular review or whatever, it has its peaks and troughs. Like, here's a really funny part, and now we have to talk about the sound design. And, here's a really shitty aspect of the graphics, and now we're talking about, I don't know, this boring level. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna quote you. If there's no lows, are there any highs?
Exactly. Exactly. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go.
Fuck, you got me.
Coming back to haunt you from the grave. But no, I get what you mean. You enjoy being able to talk freely about different things without it getting stale.
Yeah.
And yeah, I respect that. It's a good point. 10 out of 10.
So obviously, like, the compilation videos isn't really on your radar yet, but what type of videos are your favorites to make? Like, single game things, or if it's like a story episode, which I know you're sick of them and you've stopped doing them.
Fuck that. Not doing that again.
But it's like those sorts of videos have a different feel to the just standard review videos. Is there like any part of that old format that you miss already? Or are you just so spent that you just don't even care?
I missed the whole cartoon thing. I thought that was really cool, even though it lasted like a month or two. But that couldn't be helped.
That was like the best compromise ever, though.
I was like, I'm gonna do a cartoon. You're like, do you even know how to do that? I was just like, no, I don't, but I'm gonna make it work.
That's what I love. It's just
and
great.
it was okay. I mean,
it was good. Like I said, when you had no other option, it worked out pretty well.
I can't believe I was so sad over a fucking 480p camcorder from like 2008 breaking.
Yeah.
And I know that was like my only way to capture footage, but now I look at it and it's like, why? What was the point?
Yeah. Fucking my original camera, I got that for my birthday when I was 13 because I'm not really sure why. I just wanted a fucking camera. and my mum got me the video camera. I didn't even fucking start using it until 2014 when I started doing crash shit. And it's like, I remember I went on holiday in 2015, right when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I went away, and I was at the beach, and like I discovered that this shitty point and shoot camera I had a macro feature. I'm like, oh fuck, I never noticed that before. And so I was on the beach, and I started fuck-assing about with it, and I was turning the little dial back and forth around the lens, and eventually it just went and snapped, and it got locked. It got locked. Thank God it got locked in the regular position and not the macro position. But it just sucked because the first video I did when I come back was that first Phoenix Games episode, and it's like, in that I'm like reading the back of the case, and it's like the most blurry fucking things. You can't get anything close up. It just looks so shit.
Dude, I'm sitting here with my face like, oh, because I remember you telling me about that. Like, I was just like, wait, this sounds, oh my god, that's what. Because I remember you were like, yeah, the fucking camera's stuck on like one setting, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it fucking pissed me off because I was on holiday and I just discovered this, and before that, I'd had so much trouble getting close-up stuff, and because it always looked blurry, and it always pissed me off. And so I'm on holiday, I discovered this, I'm like, yay, I can finally do this, video improvements, and then I break it on the spot, and it's like, for fuck's sake.
God damn.
Thank God I had some money saved up, but I had to wait like 2 or 3 months to buy a new camera. So for like 3 months, the videos were mostly blurry. Like,
oh man, but you worked through it, you know? You worked through it.
yeah.
And so did the audience.
Yeah, they had to fucking. That's what I mean. Like, whenever you get a comment, and it's like, "Oh, I've been here since End of the Dragonfly. I've been here since Crash." It's like, you poor thing. Like, you had to go through some hard fucking years before this shit actually got good. Like,
Jesus, I was just thinking about the types of videos I made like a year ago. They're just fucking horrible. Like, even a year ago, like, that's when I was like, oh, I'm finally getting good. Like, just so bad. Like, but I think we all have that moment where we're at a certain point, and then we look back, and then you shudder and you just turn back around because, like, I don't want to look at that. That's it's like seeing a really, like, you ever been on the internet late at night, and for some reason you click a link and a scary face pops up, and it's like, oh, and then you click out of it. That's what that's like, you know? That's what I equate it to. It's like, oh, this.
For me,
quick jolt of fear.
For me, that's pretty much like 2015, like that first year of doing it full time. Yeah, because man. It's like, it took me that full, like, people, like, you know, because sometimes you get asked the question, like, oh, how long does it take to sort of get the feel
to finally get good?
Yeah, and it's like, well, it took me an entire year of full time to get to a point where I felt like I was actually getting the hang of it. And then from that point, it wasn't until I did the Legend of Spyro series that I felt like, oh, hang on, we're actually jumping up a level now from that. So it's like pretty much 2 years to figure this shit out.
I'm still working on that fucking process.
But then it's like, even then, once I figured it out, you look at, you know, some of the stuff from last year, and even this year, it stuff still feels different, you know?
Yeah. So. I think the best is you rewatch an old video and you're like, wow, that was actually funny. Like, I thought I sucked. Like,
what's your favorite old video you've made?
My favorite old video?
Yeah, that you've like rewatched, like what you're talking about, and you're like,
man.
This is better than I
can think of old moments that just still make me laugh for some reason. Even though, if that's the most egotistical thing, like, oh man, I wrote it down and it still makes me laugh. But old videos, I mean, Crash Bash, I'm always gonna have a soft spot for that one.
Yeah.
Fucking Star Fox Adventures, because I wrote that with a friend. We were sitting there, middle of lunch, junior year in high school, writing this fucking episode.
That's so.
And it was like, it was the most fun. We're just spitballing ideas like rapid fire. It was incredible.
That was a good episode as well. I remember that. Like, I remember that just being like, you could tell, like, out of that lineup around it, it was the best one.
Oh, Jesus, that fucking episode though. I just gotten a new camera, and what happens? My fucking microphone broke, so I had to record all the audio on the camera, and it sounds so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are, and of course there's like the cartoon ones, because like, look at that. But you know.
Oh fuck. Like,
what are some of yours?
well, because
Huh?
I said like 2015, I hated that whole fucking lineup. Like, it just shit
Yeah.
me. It's like the only few out of that year I can still watch and enjoy is Enter the Dragonfly, obviously, because that's just a fucking standout. And then it's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 because it was like 7 minutes long and just all the best fucking bits.
It's just rapid fire.
And it was like the 1,000 like first review after 1,000 subscribers, so that's like a special
man.
one.
just
And then
on
like
fire. Just woo!
and then it's like the Phoenix Games episode from right after it, and then GBA player, and that's it from that year. I don't really like any of the other fucking videos from 2015. Like all the Jack and Daxter shit, I hate. Fucking Manhunt. The intro was okay, but then the video kind of sucked. That's Jay's fault though, not mine.
I was about to say, because of Jay.
And then like even like the Spyro trilogy at the end of the year, like I don't know, because I remember that Spyro the Dragon, the first episode of that. In my head at the time, I was just thinking, I need to completely restart my process. Like, I need to just hit the reset button and figure this whole shit out again because I hate it. I did the Spyro episode, and that's okay. Spyro 2 isn't as good, and Spyro 3 is just the fucking shit.
But Spyro 2 has Spyro and Ripto colliding to create the Ripto Spyro.
See, that sort of shit. It's like, I hate that looking back.
And just the noise, and it's just left there, and then it flies away. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, man.
That's the sort of shit that it's like, I have so much, like, that's painful to me to watch. That's the scary face late at night, that it's just like, what was I fucking thinking?
The scary face late at night.
Yeah.
The Nightmare Jack. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, you know what? Last year was easily my best year, but only because it was chock full of fucking Crash videos, alright? So it was my best performing year, but probably my least favorite.
Yeah, that
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Insane. That was fun though, making that, because it's like, oh fuck, working on the grind.
Yeah,
Gotta be quick
yeah.
about this one. Gotta
Yeah.
speak my mind about what I think about this. So that was cool. And then fucking Indiana Jones and Dragon Tales, those were fun to make.
Yeah. Dragon Tales. That we spent like 2 hours on that fucking thumbnail, and then you changed it like a day later.
And it looked good. It looked really good.
Yeah.
You're like, just put the old guy, and then maybe so. It's like, there's nothing else here. Like,
Oh fuck.
yeah, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, last year I was just like, I mean, last year for me was like do or die situation. It just felt like, the whole time it just felt like it was my last year. So I was like, it just naturally just came out like this. Like if this is the year that defines what I did on YouTube, then it has to be the best shit
Blaze
ever.
of glory. Exactly.
And it's just fucking the whole way through. I'm just, I was so happy with the final product last year, but man, it sucked working on it. Like I didn't enjoy it a whole lot because it was such a fucking just shit feeling. Just
It
like,
was
oh,
good, man.
each video could be my last. Like it's depressing as fuck.
I'd have to be like, it's not the end. There's still time. You're okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then just to be like, oh, okay, now I've got to try and top that without the feeling of desperation. Fucking good luck.
It's gonna be hard topping last year, man. That Stains video.
Man, that's such a fucking good video. Every podcast let's gush over it. Like,
There's something wrong with us. I think we have like some obsessive disorder where we just talk about. Well, it's mostly me. I think I have some obsessive disorder where I constantly just talk about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm bad for it as well.
Jesus, that was a. God. We need to top that. If we when we work together again.
Fucking.
It's just gotta be no holds barred. It's just gotta be no
Ow.
holds barred. That's how.
There was no punches pulled from that. Like we gave that just everything we could.
Here's the thing: we put our heads together. The next time, we have to slam our heads together, just creating a shower of brains everywhere.
just creating a Siamese twin.
A sign.
We just joined
Jesus.
the fucking.
That'd be
head.
we'd fucking argue all day, like the fuck. What are you doing? Oh,
Yeah,
why are you making? Oh, just...
Yeah, we wouldn't be friends for much longer after that. And then at that point, it's too late. Like,
I don't think anyone would make it through that.
no.
Like, best friends would either get pissed off or annoyed at each other.
Yeah.
People that hate each other would probably end up killing each other. Like, no one would survive that, so I think that's okay.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Here comes the two-headed monster. Fucking hell. It's like the
Hey,
fucking
it'd make for a good
double-headed guys.
thumbnail. It'd make for a good
It's-
thumbnail.
It's just the double-headed dudes from Crash 3. It's just you and I.
Fuck's sake.
God damn.
Dear.
Beautiful.
Speaking of Crash 3, have you played Future
I don't want to
Tense
talk
yet?
about it.
No.
No, I haven't. That's why I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, cut that.
I'm sorry. I haven't. I played Stormy Ascent.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
It was all right. You know, the birds at the end. That was
Fuck off.
that was a bit fucking cheap. But yeah.
Ah, man. Fuck. Did it... So... I'm just... while I was waiting on Future Tense to become available, I was like, fuck, I need to beat Stormy Ascent. Like, I need to get the relic. Just, I don't know why, just because I need to prove to everyone that I can do it. After last year, I need to prove that I can do it. And I'm fucking here and just trying and trying and trying, and oh my fucking good lord. There was one run, I showed it in my revisit episode of fucking Stormy Ascent Relic run. I was doing so fucking good. And I got to those fucking birds, and the number one rule with those sorts of levels is just like jump first, ask questions later, because the way they're timed is it's like Donkey Kong Country. Those games
you
are
just gotta
fucking
do it.
easy if you just jump through and don't even think
gotta do
about
it.
it. As soon as you stop and wait for platforms, then it all gets out of sync and then it gets harder. And so I just jumped when I got there and missed the second bird, landed on a spike with a mask left. So I was like, cool, I have time to jump up the last bird and still make it for an epic win. But the post-hit invincibility from getting hit by the second bird automatically killed the third bird. And the platform was too high up for me to jump on my own. And I'm just like, what the f... And before I even had time to think about it, I fucking fell through the gap between the spikes anyway. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that was
Isn't
like
that
after...
poetic?
That was after like 2 hours of trying. And I think it was another hour. Or another 45 minutes. And I stopped. And I was so fucking pissed off. Like, I have not been that pissed off at a game in a long time. Like, I'm talking screaming and carrying on, all that. Anyway. I stopped, I had my fucking lunch, I was just sat here just pissed off, and then I sat down, first try, fucking did it. I'm like, oh, you cunt. Didn't even feel fucking
sometimes that's all it
satisfied. But the fact that I got to show it in the video a year later, I was like, oh, that was the satisfying part. Like, yes, I did it. Look how cool I am. Like, no one cares.
You conquered it.
Oh, shit.
Hey, we're all proud of you.
No, we're not. Alright.
You're right, we're not. Jesus.
So what else has been going on lately? What have you been in the mood for?
Like, it cut out. All I hear is, what have you been in the mood?
What have you been in the...
whenever I minimize Discord that happens.
What have you been in the mood for?
I don't know. What does that mean?
Because I've been, like, my thing lately has been watching classic Simpsons episode.
Oh, I cannot relate with you on that.
No. You don't have anything like that where it's just taken over your life and it's just consumed you?
No, and I think that's why I've been good at getting videos out.
Fair
so
enough. And why I've been struggling each week to get something done.
Fucking Simpsons, Jesus Christ.
Man, when I did the fucking mobile episode at the start of the year, I downloaded a few seasons. I purchased a few seasons. Oh, like, don't hurt me. And I was here and I was like, fuck, I should download some more illegally. And I've just been doing that.
Did you buy them or did you download them illegally?
I pirated them.
Now you're sending mix because I should download more of them illegally. God.
But yeah, I've just been binge watching classic Simpsons episodes, and some of these I haven't seen since I was like, I probably haven't seen in like 12 years.
Should have kept it that way.
It's just the best shit ever. But yeah, it's been killing my productivity really bad. Which sucks because I've been trying to get ahead on shit for fucking end of the year stuff.
You're doing great.
Not really. I've got like a stack.
I know.
I've got like 10 fucking Tony Hawk games to fucking beat. I've only fucking beaten 2 out of the 12 in like a week.
That's not my problem.
Because one of them took like 16 fucking hours to get through.
16?
Yes. Fucking 200 gigs of fucking gameplay footage I had to sort yesterday.
Jesus fucking
Ridiculous.
hell.
And it's like, I enjoyed playing the game, and it was fun. But like, when I finished, I'm like, Jesus, that was a long fucking game.
That sounds horrible. Especially since I don't even like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Thankfully, looking
Man.
at the rest of the lineup, it should be the longest of the games I have to get through. Most of the others are pretty simple, but it's just like, fuck.
Twist. It's the 5th longest.
Yeah, probably. I've
Man.
got those fucking ones with the motion control skateboard. They're probably gonna take me fucking forever.
Just getting used to the controls.
Yeah, pretty much. Ugh.
Motion controls should have never been a thing. That was a mistake.
Well, really? There's been some good motion control stuff.
Super Mario Galaxy doesn't fucking count.
No, it doesn't count. I wasn't counting it.
Oh.
But like Wii Sports, oh.
So it's a tech demo. It doesn't count as a good game.
Fuck, it is a tech demo though. Seriously, what the fuck is it with this, like, with like so many in-house Nintendo games just being like tech demos, like Wii Sports and Wii Play and the Switch 1, 2, 3 or whatever the fuck that is.
1-2 Switch. Well, that was a launch title, and there were no other games for the console. The Wii was just, it was a dark time for Nintendo.
Oh, a dark time in their fucking like diamond encrusted mansion with the amount of money they made off that fucking thing.
It was a dark time creatively for them. I mean, they're shitting out sports games fucking 24/7, appealing to the casual audience. Legend of Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Yoshi, all that shit paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like the only Kirby game on the Wii, which was Kirby's Epic Yarn, can be pretty much played by a goddamn chimpanzee. Like that's how much thought went into that game. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So it was a dark time for Nintendo in that way.
And the Wii U fixed everything.
It's buried Nintendo for a little while. 6 feet under.
Yeah. Have you been? Is there any? Hang on, I'll just stop and slow my brain down a bit and try that again.
God, you're like me trying to read a fucking script.
Ah, fuck. It's weird because if I've got a script, I'm a lot better at not doing that.
You know what my problem is? As soon
What?
as I'm reading off of a script, I have to do this, and I don't know why. Like, I have to do this fucking projecting voice when I'm really comfortable talking like this, but I can't do it. Because after a while, it just eases into this one. And I hate it because my throat hurts, I run out of breath quicker because I'm projecting, which means I'm expelling more oxygen.
Yeah.
And it's like, fucking hell.
I do that as well. That's why my videos are so loud. People are always like,
God
why are
damn it.
you so loud and screaming? It's like, it's the only way I, like, naturally can read the script.
And I feel like if I'm like this, I'm too quiet. And then
Yeah.
it's like, well, you have to... What's the term? I can't remember the term, but it's when you put a
Articulate
stress on
or,
a certain word in a sentence. And it's
em-
big in
emphasis.
voice acting. It's kind of like emphasis, but it makes it sound like you're not just reading, but you're actually talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah. So I feel like when I do this, I don't do that, but obviously I should because this is my normal voice.
Yeah.
So I don't have to sound like a fucking radio announcer. You know what I'm saying?
Step right up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the three-breasted woman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like fucking just speak normally, you cunt. I yelled at myself earlier. I wrote down like I have a knack for writing a string of words that are so fucking complicated, like they're like basically tongue twisters.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You fucking idiot!" Like yelling at the camera, like, "You fucking idiot! Make your scripts easier to read." Just yelling at myself.
I had one, and I actually ended up cutting it from the Midas video. Where is it? It was I couldn't even, like, my problem is that I add too many things in. Like, I try to
get you.
cram too many fucking words into the sentence.
I've done that a lot. Like, you try to make the sentence sound more complicated. Like, this game is extravagantly entertaining.
Yeah, it wasn't the Midas one. It's the next review coming up. Where the fuck is it? So, without spoiling it, the back of the box, it's like, it's because the game is awful, and it's how the fuck do I even explain this?
Of course it is.
It's basically the back of the box is using a negative point and trying to push it as a positive selling point.
What is this, Bubsy 3D?
And so, like, my joke I wanted to say is it's like a kid who tries to make himself look better than everyone else by showboating all his character flaws as positives, but I just couldn't fucking say it. Like,
Oh, man.
I just couldn't fucking do it. I'm just sat there. There's like 5 minutes of like recording where I'm just sat there like just thinking about what the fuck I'm gonna do about it. Man. Like, I rewrote it on the spot like 3 times. I was like, no, just cut it. It doesn't need to be there. You can just just give out about
just
it.
Work around it.
There doesn't have to be a joke there or like, a comparison. You can just explain what's going on. And
Yeah, it works. It doesn't need like the setup or anything.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. Let it speak for itself instead of fucking going on and on about it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with older games, predominantly PS1, some PS2, just old games that had to market themselves on the back of the box. Because I have one here, and it says, incredible 3D graphics, speed your way at 60 frames per second. And if I ever look at this game, I'm gonna be like, holy fucking shit, even in the 90s, 60 frames per second was a selling point for a game.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man.
God damn.
There's one of those. I think it's on, like, the PS1 portable screen box from Mad Cats or something. And it's like, hang on, I'll just grab it.
Dazzling 240 by 480 display.
Alright, what does it say? I hope this is what I'm fucking looking for.
I hope it is too.
I can't see it.
I just can't see it. My eyes don't work now.
Fucking hell.
God damn it, Jack. What the
Must
fuck is
have
your
the-
problem, you know?
There
This is so
is
unprofessional.
Maybe it was a game. I was thinking of the screen because it has to do with colour. But maybe it's a game. It was just something along the lines of it. It's like, oh, epic action game and this and that. 200 colours. Or something stupid like that. Like, talking about the graphical limitations of the system or some shit. Like, it was just fucking stupid.
That's like the Sega CD where it's like 26 simultaneous colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Bubsy 3D, of course. It's like, get your paws on a whole mess of atoms. And it's like, that's a collectible in the game. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, and mess is a very accurate word to fucking describe it as well.
Get your paws on this mess of a game. I mean, the whole mess of atoms inside the game.
Fucking nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah. What's your
Sega
favorite
does.
system to cover?
My favorite? Probably just PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I played it so much as a fucking kid.
Yeah. It's probably the same for me. Really.
On that, I think that's probably my favorite console ever. Like, so many people are like, the PlayStation 2. Like, PlayStation 2, it felt like, I know there were the, technical, graphical advancements, but I don't know. There's something about the charm on the PS1. I don't know.
Look, my argument for PS2 is always...
It plays PS1.
Yes, exactly. that's the fucking... Is a PS1 built inside of it. So...
Well, let's take that out of the equation. PS1 games versus PS2 games. I know, it's hard. And
this is a
sometimes
debate for
it's
the
like
ages.
PS2 is good. Then sometimes like, oh, N64, oh, GameCube.
No,
not
not N64, no.
Well, I'm sorry you have low standard. No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, have an N64 in there, but take the Dreamcast out.
What about Dreamcast?
Take it out of that equation, that's shit house.
We're talking about Dreamcast was the next generation. Ow! If anything, it's
Was it?
Saturn versus PS1 versus...
Oh, yeah, Saturn, my bad. Yeah, what am I fucking talking about?
I'm an asshole. It's like... like, you were so
just a
genuine, like,
bully.
oh, it wasn't? And I'm like, ha! Like,
Yeah, you're such a bully. I hope we never get attached at the head as Siamese twins.
I hope we never work on a video, slam our heads together, become Siamese twins.
I don't know. PS1 versus PS2.
You have to make the noise because
Yeah.
it's such a stressful.
I'm tensing up over this shit.
Man, I'd even put PS3 pretty high.
No, fuck off.
Dude, it's got all the good exclusives though. I don't know. I like Metal Gear. That's why you can't play Metal Gear 4.
Yeah, that's exactly.
By the way, Jack, you played Metal Gear Solid yet?
Not yet.
Is it still sitting on your shelf, ready to be played?
No, put it back.
What, did you feel shame every time you walked past it and it was like, today could be the day? But
No, I was just like, I can't think about it. I've got Tony Hawk games to beat. Don't have to. Well, no, it was there, and then it was like, oh, I've got to get Crash done. Oh, I've got to get fucking this ready, and it's just shit.
Man, Tony Cock.
My thing with the PS3 that pisses me off is when I had a 360.
Yeah, same.
And I'm so used to that layout and that marketplace and all that. When I finally got a PS3 and hooked all that shit up, the fucking, like, the dashboard and the PSN store, it's so clunky and fucking backwards compared to the 360 version.
Yeah, I'll agree. The UI is not,
And, like,
you know.
because when I first got it, I only had, like, 2 fucking games. And one of them was Metal Gear 4. I still haven't played it. And, but I was looking, and I'm like, oh, I'll go on the store and see if there's anything free that I can get, like a free game or a demo or fucking anything, just to sort of start getting familiar with how all that worked. And, like, I had so much trouble navigating the fucking store, and I finally found this free, like, PlayStation anniversary theme or some dumb shit like that. And I was like, alright, looks cool, I'll download that because it's free. I downloaded it. I had to fucking sit and watch it download because the fucking PlayStation 3 doesn't have background downloading. And finally fucking finished. And still to this day, I cannot find that theme anywhere on my system.
Yeah, they definitely, you know, mitigated that problem with the PS4.
Like, it's like I sat here for like 5 minutes while this theme downloaded, and it's not even on the system. Like, I don't have that theme as my background. I can't add it. Where you go to change your theme, it's not there as an option. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I can't even download a free fucking theme. It just...
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did when I got Xbox Live, was download a brand new theme that was free, and it fucking worked. And it downloaded in the background while I booted up Left 4 Dead or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know the funny thing? It's exactly the opposite now. Because PS4, I would argue, has a much better interface than Xbox One.
I haven't.
Like, I speak from experience, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. But still, like, it's come full circle.
I'll have to take your word for it. The only Xbox One I've ever really fucking been around, my friend brought one over a few years ago, and it just sort of looked like a multi-layered version of the old 360 one at the time, and it was just like, there's just too much going on here. Like,
It's really slow.
Yeah. Do you know what's slower? I can guarantee.
The Wii U.
No, it's typing out a word in the PS4 store with that weird scrolling text.
Is that slow for scrolling? Oh yeah, that's just fucking
tedious.
Yeah,
as fuck.
that's really stupid. I don't know what the hell they were on when they.
The amount of fucking
that.
times I had to do that the other week looking for future tense. I spent like half a day in that fucking scroll wheel store just looking for it. Like,
yeah, that sucks. I'll agree with that one.
what were they thinking? That was so fucking bad.
They were thinking the PS3 was sold, it underperformed. Got to make this better, but you know what? The store can still be clunky as fuck.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's another thing with the PS3 as well. Is there's just no fucking memory on it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, I've had my 360 since 2008. No, 2009. I have the Pro version, which has like 60 gigs of fucking space. The only time it was ever full was when I installed GTA 5.
And that's rightfully so, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, I think I deleted a heap of like downloaded videos and shit I had on there, and then I've still to this day I've got like 5 gig of free space left, which has been like a constant for 3 years now. So it's like versus the PS3, every fucking game I've got like I think I've got Uncharted 3 installed, or I've got the Uncharted 3 on there, the updates and maps and stuff because we did that for a live stream. I've got, what the fuck else have I got? I think a Heavy Rain save file.
Your favorite game.
And, like, one other thing. And every time I go to fucking put a game in, even just to test it, it's like, sorry, there's too much space to run the... You don't have enough fucking space just to run the game. You have to uninstall and delete all your save progress. It's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's ways to mod it and
got
shit,
that
but...
rightfully. I earned it.
Yeah. I like to keep my save file, so if I ever need something quick, I can just quickly hop back in and get it. You know,
yeah, man.
I don't want to have to, for whatever reason, if I needed some Uncharted 3 stuff, I don't want to have to fucking play through the whole game again just to get up to the second last mission. I'd like just be able to level select, there, done. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I keep all my save files.
Yeah,
it's
man.
fucking shit. So I've got all these fucking earlier in the year when I bought a heap of PS3 games, I was doing testing episodes. That was shit. It's like each like after I'd finished filming, the last thing I wanted to do was look at that fucking PlayStation. But no, I had to sit there and fucking uninstall and reinstall tomorrow's games, and it was just,
damn. I use my
not
PS3
in the
all
background,
time.
so I couldn't do anything else. This is fucked.
Yeah, man, I use mine all the time. Fucking hell.
Mine, well, now that I've got a power supply for mine again, I'm probably going to use it a lot more for PS1 games that switch between interlaced and progressive, which I'm finding out is more than I was expecting.
Haha. Told you should have just done that from the get-go, but no, doesn't matter. You know what I miss?
What do you
I miss going through the old Microsoft store on Xbox 360, just looking at all the games. That was just fucking awesome. Like, you have to admit, like, that was
when I spent a lot of time in there.
Like, just like the original layout and everything, and there was like the indies and all that shit. It was so cool, especially when you had Microsoft points, if you remember that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna get that game. Like, it was really cool, man, and I miss that. You don't do that anymore, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, back when we were kids.
Back when we were kids 6 years ago.
Yeah, back like 7 years ago. Seems long, though. Seems much longer.
Yeah, me and my friends would just sit there and just go through looking for games that look good and finding free themes and profile pics to download and like trying demos, and then we'd sit there for like, I think me and my friend Aiden, we sat here once for probably 4 or 5 hours straight, solely just going through each other's achievement lists. And just looking and like reminiscing on like, oh, remember when we did this achievement? Remember when we did that? Oh, how the hell did you do that one? And like, oh, this is my favorite game to get all the achievements. Like, we could have been playing games, getting achievements. We just sat there
reminiscing.
Yeah, it was great.
It's good times, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah. It's like I still like every now and then I'll go through my 360 achievements and just look back and it's like, fuck, I haven't played that. Like, I beat that in like 2010. That feels like
my 360's in my closet. Right next to my GameCube and my NES.
Aw. How many GameCube games have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35.
This is why you keep a game inventory.
That's why you buy GameCube games.
Are there any like cheap hidden gems in there that I could get?
Cheap hidden gems?
Because GameCube games are fucking expensive as shit.
I don't know about cheap, but there's definitely a lot of hidden gems in here.
Fuck's sake.
Sonic Gems collection. That's a hidden gem.
I've got, look, like, my number one rule when I started collecting was, like, if I, like, only buy, like, a system if it's cheap and I can get it, and then, like, only, like, don't just buy a system with 2 games and then never buy anything else for it. Like,
Exactly.
if I'm buying a console, my rule is I need to have a nice, even if it's only a small collection, a nice little
Yeah, it just
tidy
comes with a nice
collection.
lot.
Yeah. Fucking my GameCube, I've bought 2 games for it since I got it in 2015.
You played that Cube game lately?
No. Fucking Zoo Cube.
Zoo Cube.
It's ridiculous. Like, I've got what? I've got like 7 GameCube games. And 5 of
Jesus.
them came with the lot when I bought it and did a video on it. 3 of those are Harry Potter games. There's that Zoo Cube, then there's the Tarzan game.
I have
and then
4 times the amount of GameCube games you have.
And then I've since purchased fucking Smash Brothers, obviously.
Good, because that game's going up in price.
And WrestleMania X8. Which
Why would you
fucking
get
shit.
that on PS2 or something? Or is that a GameCube
It's not on.
exclusive?
It's an exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
was fortunate having the GameCube growing up.
Yeah. So but it's like I only Brandon, who's a patron, sent me the fucking Master System converter for the Mega Drive earlier in the year. I've already got a Master System collection twice as large as my GameCube collection. You know what I mean? It's like, and good games as well, like the Wonder Boy series and like Mickey Mouse Adventures or whatever the fuck, and like the Master System Sonic games, and you know whatever else. And it's just like, I've had it like less than 6 months and it's already doubled my GameCube collection I've had for 4 years.
It all just depends on where your interests lie. That's what it all comes down to.
The thing for me though with Nintendo, it's like I'd love to get into that shit, but it's so fucking expensive. The cheapest I've ever seen Mario Sunshine was $45 Australian.
Fuck, I got it for like 20 when I was a kid.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, and like all the Zelda games are like $100. Fuck me, that's more than it cost when it was brand new.
Dude, I was lucky. I got Wind Waker for like 40. And, so, you know what? Allow me to just go over that. I got that for 40. I got the you know, the Resident Evil remake. That goes for a lot. I got that for like 50. And then I got fucking Twin Snakes, which, good luck finding that shit. Usually over like 100. I got it for like 70.
Nice.
It's a good
Meanwhile,
game.
like there's nothing, like I don't even see GameCube games go for like less than $20 over here, which is fucking expensive. PS2 games, it's like obviously they're cheap as shit. I bought a fucking box of them, 120 for $60 fucking dollars. That's like 50 cents a game. It's like,
Yeah.
even if there was some fucking generic mediocre GameCube games that cheap, I'd fucking buy them. Just you know, I want to beef it up a bit.
Well,
You know?
have you thought about looking at just third-party games, or are even those ridiculous too?
Like that's what I mean. Even those are ridiculous. Like,
God damn. That's
people
horrible.
want like $30 for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, one of the most common as fucking dirt best-selling games of all time, for $30. It's
Damn.
like it's everywhere. Like, you could fucking build a coffee table out of the copies my retro game store has, you know? Like, it's not a rare
A coffee
thing.
table.
Yes, it's like, it's shits. That's the part about collecting that shits me, is when people think, oh, just because something's old or it's popular, it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, that's
Like-
bullshit.
It's like, even with like Mario, they're great games, they're beloved, they're classics. How many do they fucking ship? So
Exactly.
many. More than fucking Tony Hawk probably did.
Yeah.
You know? Like, or some fucking wrestling game, or some shitty, like, whatever, some third party fucking PK Attack of the Duck or whatever it was you did.
PK out of the shadows.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck that game.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that go for fucking $30 over here. Like,
Just buy that on PS2. Just don't buy that. That game sucks.
yeah. But, like, for things like GameCube, like, obviously if there's anything that was multi-platform, I want to get it on PS2 anyway. But it's like, even the stuff that's, like, only on GameCube, it's just so expensive. Even if I wanted to get some stuff that was on both, it's so much more expensive on GameCube, so why even fucking bother? It's just depressing.
Yeah. Goddamn. Horrible.
Yeah.
It's just unjust.
And, like, lately, I've been getting into a really bad habit of collecting boxed, complete Game Boy Advance games. Now, granted, it's only stuff I want. I've got, thanks Pete for being my middleman for Crash XS, complete with poster and in good condition. And also got Crash Entranced, complete. Which is like, obviously, because it's Crash, I want those complete. But then I've also found myself looking at other ones, like other games, and I've even bought some DS games despite not being able to play them. just shit I want. Like, I've got into a real bad habit of that lately.
You fool.
You fool. Alright, let's move on to some questions.
Alrighty.
From Radio Shadow, what are your favourite and least favourite video game controllers?
That's a very good question.
Speaking of the GameCube, fuck that controller right off, for me.
What do you have, baby hands? You have man? What's wrong with you?
No, it's just the
a comfortable
layout.
controller.
The layout is just like a fucking insane person designed it. It's fucking... I do not like the N64 controller, but I prefer it to the GameCube controller. That's how much I don't like the GameCube controller.
Damn. Well, simpletons like you, you would easily dismiss the GameCube controller. Best is easily either Xbox One or DualShock 4, because just the design works so well. It's so comfortable. Worst? Fucking... You know, I could say N64, but I made a comment in next week's video about a certain controller that is just bad because there's so much shit in one spot. So instead of springing for the usual, you know, fucking, oh, this is bad, I'm gonna have to say PS2 controller kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. You have to be honest.
Whoa, that's pretty controversial.
You'll find a lot of people actually agree with that, but keep
really,
on believing what you want.
I've never seen anyone.
Oh hell yeah!
Not like
people
that.
hate the and especially the DualShock 3. Actually, you know what? You know what? You know what? PS2 gets a break. 6-axis. Fuck that controller. Worst fucking controller of all time. All right. You know what? I was harsh on the PS2. It
Still,
worked
though,
with the games. It worked with the games on the system. All right. 6-axis. What did they do? They took the DualShock 2 design, got rid of the R2 and L2 button, and added triggers. Wow,
Yeah,
that's really
I
gonna
don't like
fucking
that.
help me in first-person shooter games. Horrible. And there's the god-awful fucking gyro controls. No, horrible. 6-axis blows dick. All right?
I'm still just here gobsmacked at the even considering the PS2 controller as bad.
I have big hands, all right?
Okay, yeah. You're more of a Duke man then.
Dude, I have a Duke. It actually fits comfortably in my hand. I'm dead serious. I bought one just so I can talk about it during a video.
See, like from that perspective, it's like, okay, I can understand it. But yeah. Whereas for me, like the Duke, like as a kid, fuck that right off. I hate that fucking thing.
Maybe that's why I like the N64 controller, because I can hold it from the leftmost prong and still maneuver the control
Jesus
stick
Christ.
and all that. Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Fucking hell. You're
But
making
yeah,
me
so-
like feel bad about my manhood that my hands
should.
aren't big enough to do
go
that.
work out your hands. So what's your, in opinion, the best and the worst?
Well, my best was going to be the PS2 DualShock 2.
Okay, I respect that.
Because,
It's a worthy controller.
like, even though, like, it's basically, like, they didn't need to change anything over from the PS1. Like, that's how good that original one was, but the PS2, it just had better vibration, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's all, you know, done. Like, for worst, look, I said GameCube, and as far as, like, mainstream systems that I've played go, that beats the N64 controller for me. But I have at PAX last year played a Jaguar, and that controller is horrendous.
Fucking number pad.
It's pretty bad. I played Tempest 2000, which looked really cool in AVGN, but playing it, even though I enjoyed it, it wasn't as good as I was expecting, and probably because I couldn't hear the fucking music either. So
Yeah, that doesn't help.
That killed it. So that was bad. Another one that's bad, I'm trying to think of, and I've fucking forgotten it. God damn it. I will tell you an obscure good controller, though. the Vectrex has
The Vectrex.
a fucking just. It's one of the most prime controllers I've ever used. Again, at PAX last year, I played this weird shooting game, and like, it's the joystick. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like perfect fluid analog control, and it just feels right. You know, like it just fucking,
works. Yeah.
It's just perfect. I loved it. I was just like sat there blown away, like, oh my god, this is great. And all my friends and my cousins standing around me like, who cares about the Vectrex? Like, I'm
playing Atari Jaguar over there.
I'm like nerding the fuck out over this shit. Like, oh, it's a Jaguar, and everyone's just like, what the fuck's that?
Did you just say Jaguar?
Yeah.
I thought you guys said Jaguar. Like, I thought everyone else, except for us idiot Americans, pronounced it the correct way.
Well, I've only ever heard it pronounced by Americans, so I'm probably saying it the wrong way.
I just noticed. Like, I should have noticed the first time you said it. Wow. Okay.
I get real self-conscious about that shit all the time.
No, you're good. I respect that. No, I'm just fucking pronounce it however you want. But, you know what doesn't work? The Wiimote.
Really? What's your problem with the Wiimote?
You're holding a fucking strap on in your hand, waving it around. If you don't have the goddamn thing tied down to your wrist, it slips out. Even if, listen, even if you have a kung fu grip, chances are you're gonna forget about the goddamn thing and it's gonna fly out of your hand. And then playing traditional games with it, with that stupid little fucking D-pad, and you have the two buttons and there's the R trigger, and it's just so stupid.
Playing regular games with that, like, I mean, Mario Galaxy wasn't too bad, but just the nunchuck and Wii Mote combo I don't like. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, like, for Mario Galaxy, they made it work because it was designed for that setup.
Exactly.
Shit, like, when I played fucking, I mean, Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon isn't fucking nice to control anyway. But in comparison to the PS2 to fucking Wii with nunchucks and shit, cannot fathom how anyone could get through that. And people have told me they did, and I'm just like, how? Like, what is wrong with you?
It's all they had. They had to settle for it.
Yeah. So that one's not too flash. But yeah, so yeah.
You know, let's go back to the DualShock 2. All right, DualShock 2, obviously. Excuse me, I'm burping. Obviously based on the DualShock, all right? Now, what do you get before the DualShock? What was the controller before the DualShock called? Just the PlayStation 1 controller?
Are you talking without the analog sticks?
Yeah, without the analog sticks.
Just call
go
it,
back to basics.
PlayStation 1 controller.
I think the reason I don't like those designs, even going all the way back to that one, is, and this is, I don't know if I've talked about this, I might have, because I like to go into video game history. It all comes back from when Nintendo and Sony were working together to make the CD-based add-on for the SNES. What Sony did was they took the Super Nintendo controller and they added two handles. That's all that Sony's design was up until the DualShock 3.
Yeah.
And the reason the Super Nintendo controller works is because it's this very... It's just easy to hold, you know? You can get your index finger and your middle finger wrapped around it, and you got all the buttons there. But when it comes to DualShock, the main problem is, so you have your index fingers, and they're up on the top, and the buttons don't help either. I'm just going to be honest. But then every other finger is on a lower part of the controller. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they got it right with the DualShock 4. That's all I'm gonna say.
The one thing that shits me off about that, and it's probably just being so used to the regular DualShock, it's just that the fucking where the button, the start and select moved up higher.
Yeah, that's true. Because they had to put the weird touchpad.
Yeah, which is never fucking hardly used. Like, that's there. Literally, I'm pretty sure the only time I've used it is to select the map in Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, that's all it's for. Like, so that to me was just a big waste. But yes, that controller does feel really good.
Yeah, luckily
But because of that fuck up is why I like the PS2 one better.
Luckily, Sony realized how dumb of a gimmick that would have been, and that's why it's, like, never utilized.
Yeah,
like,
but then
I'm gonna rub this, and it's like I'm pleasuring a woman. Like, think about it that way. It just looks really stupid.
But then with that though, it's like they didn't have the forward thinking to realize that there's not many ways to use that for anything other than pleasuring a woman.
Or like
so
type.
just take the fucking thing off, you know.
Yeah, but they
Why did
didn't.
it have to be there? Why did no one think about that?
Yeah. Even the Switch Pro controller's good, because you know what they did? They stole the Xbox One design, and they put the Nintendo BAYX. That's all they did.
I was about to say that the Xbox 360 controller was pretty good.
Oh hell yeah! That
I
one
don't have
was
enough
one of my
experience.
favorites.
I don't have enough experience with the Xbone controller, but
It's
I
the
have
same.
used it. It's the same fucking thing.
It's pretty much the same. Xbone. You call it that unironically, and I love it.
Yeah, that's when it was right before it was coming out. Every fucking news thing I seen about it was calling it an Xbone. So now I just call it that.
The Xboz. That's what they should have called it.
The Xboz.
How's that?
All right,
for a
we got some
throwback?
mileage out of that.
Hell yeah, man! We are on a roll.
Next question from Jake. Oh, excuse me, I'm sick. Right, that's not from
You
him.
fool.
That's from me. What video games do you think are so bad that it rightly deserves a 0 out of 10? Even though we've established previously that 0 equals nothing. That, sir, you have answered your own question.
Yeah, there you go. You answered it.
The only games I'd ever score a 0 would be something that is incomplete. Like
Exactly.
an alpha, like the Crash Bandicoot prototype. That gets a 0 automatically because it's not finished.
I agree.
So, technically in that sense, a 0 out of 10 can sometimes be better than a 1, 2, 3, or 4 out of 10.
But is it even a game at that point if it's not finished?
The Crash Bandicoot prototype with all the removed levels is pretty much finished. You can play
But is it a
through
game or a project?
I'd say it's at the point of being a game. Fuck you. Anyway.
So it's at the point, but it hasn't broken the threshold.
0 out of 10 is for something that's not complete. Next
Exactly.
question. Before Cal just drags us on.
Excuse me.
Alright. We'll keep on with the game stuff. From Petronius! Given the rise in 3D platformers again and big budget remakes like Crash and Spyro, what other old school games or genres would you like to see make a comeback? I kind of want movie tie-in games to come back in a way. Most were shit, but every now and then there'd be a legitimately good game, which I kind of miss. Nowadays, those kind of things are always delegated to mobile games and apps, which isn't as cool. X-Men Origins Wolverine was a pretty decent game, despite
That game
the
was
film.
way better than its movie.
Was it? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, the movie sucks, but that game was awesome.
I think as far as things coming back, we've talked in depth about Jack and Daxter. But things like movie tie-in games to come back, fucked if I know. That's a pretty good one.
I'd have to agree. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Not that I've played a whole lot of movie tie-in games in my time, but I've played some okay ones. I've also played some shit ones. Like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's debatable. But yeah.
But then good ones. Like one of the best movie tie-in games I think I've ever played was Disney's Hercules on PS1. That's like
the action
surprisingly...
game?
Yeah, Disney's action game featuring Hercules. That's surprisingly... Even though it's really short and simple, that's a surprisingly fun game, and it looks great, has all the music from the fucking movie. The only problem is that like it misses over real key parts of the story, and playing that as a kid, because I got that with my PS1 when I fucking, it was one of my first games. I hadn't seen the fucking movie yet, and so when I finally got around to watching the movie, there was like half the movie left out of the game, and I'm like, oh, that explains why that happens in the game, and I was just totally lost.
Yeah. Jesus.
But like other than that, that's a really good game, So yeah,
Yes.
you probably bang on the money with the movie tie-in games there.
I
Is there
agree.
any other genres you'd like to see make a comeback?
I was gonna say like
Series.
comic book, but those were never really big. Like, the only comic book based game I can think of is Ultimate Spider-Man, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That was a cool game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, superhero games in general haven't really gone anywhere. As long as there's
Yeah,
Spider-Man movies, there'll be Spider-Man games, you know what I mean? Like-
Yeah. Here's to hoping the next one, the next Spider-Man game by Insomniac, lives up to the potential. It's like one of those old films where it's...
Fucking hell. Alright. From Brandon. Why is it Hang on, that's not what it says, Jack.
Why is it do you live? Is toy stupid?
Fuck off. From Brandon, why do you think modern 3D platformers other than Mario Odyssey are having such a hard time standing out? Ukulele, Hat in Time, Super Lucky's Tale, etc. I think it's because everything nowadays is made in Unreal Engine and take a lot of originality away from the games, whereas Crash and Spyro back in the day had a game engine created specifically for their games.
Well, you also have to acknowledge where are the trends, you know? First-person shooters, battle royale games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for a platforming game to break the mold, especially when it's going up against such an immovable object. And in the case of Ukulele, that game was a disappointment, so that's why it really didn't go anywhere. A Hat in Time was successfully crowdfunded, but it suffered from being an indie game. Super Lucky's Tale, people dismissed it because it's Microsoft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why those all had their own... Like, they weren't able to fully revive the genre. Or Rarevive is fucking it's so funny.
I think part of the other reason is that, what are you trying to say, Jack? This is where I get fucked. I can't get the words out of my head.
Like, one reason is they all just do the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it's like it's like all these newer ones look at what has happened previously, and just replicate that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not that I've played it, but A Hat in Time, it's very colourful and cartoony and all that, and it's, you know, like that's directly ripped from the classic days. I've always wanted to see a platforming collectathon game that was like super dark and gritty, and something like that I feel like could have a better chance of making an impact in a modern gritty market for games, you know.
We need a Vex remake. There you go.
and like same thing for the gameplay stuff. Like, that's the problem with Ukulele, is that it didn't try to be anything other than a Banjo Tooie sequel, you know what I mean?
It didn't even and what it did try to like take from those games, it completely fucked up. Like the whole thing with the quills. Like, you know how in Banjo-Kazooie there's the music notes and they'll put them on a path and you have to follow it? Well, the quills are just all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Like, they're not used to take you through the level, you know what I'm saying?
Collect a mess of quills or whatever that Bubsy
Get your paws on a mess of quills.
Yeah, that's what I think the issue is that they're leaning too heavily on stuff that's already worked.
Exactly.
Because back then, Crash and Spyro and all that, they were breaking molds of stuff. Yeah. And like another one I can think of is the game. It's another indie fucking 3D collectathon platformer, Rad, and fucking Nitro Rad is actually a voice. You know, I'm pretty sure he's the voice of the main character. And it's literally a fucking Rayman. It literally looks to me like Rayman met A Hat in Time, and it's like,
of course,
it looks cool, but I don't see the appeal, because if I wanted A Hat in Time, I could play that. If I wanted Rayman, I could play that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what's new about it? What's the new, like, what big risk is it taking to try and make itself stand out? And there really isn't anything.
The antagonist is transgender. Like, okay, I guess that's different.
Oh fuck. So yeah, that's what I think it is. And yeah, I mean, so everything's made in Unity. It's not in Unity. Everything's made in Unreal Engine, so it all looks the same.
Some of it is made in Unity.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's all the same. It's all the same shit. It all looks the same.
It's Unreal.
The thing with fucking Unreal is that it's like, I get where he's coming from. Is that even AAA games look like fan-made creations, like fan games, because everyone's using the same tools, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing over there?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably why. Like, we need if these things want to make a proper comeback, they need to do some serious risky shit, which is the problem, because all these are fucking, there's no AAA developers doing it that aren't remakes and remasters. So none of these smaller people are prepared to take an even bigger risk than they're already taking trying to make this indie game.
Amen.
So, amen.
Thus saith the Lord.
Alright. Our final question from Atri. Do you have any funny life stories? Please tell me you've thought of something.
I have, dude. Okay, so Jack messages me before the podcast, asking me to think about it. Now, I'd seen this question when it was first asked,
A month
and
ago.
I was like, well, I'm not gonna have fucking anything because I don't have any funny stories. So no, there's nothing for me. No.
I bet you've got something, even if maybe forget funny. Just think interesting. Then what's something interesting that happened? I don't know.
I don't find anything that's happened to me interesting. It's just normal.
Fucking hope. I've been trying to think as well. Like, I've got some funny ones, but they're ones I wouldn't want to share. Like, and then like most of my other ones are just like school related, which I can't even remember how many of them like I've told before.
A few, but they're good.
Yeah, I've told a few. Have I ever told? I mean, I've probably told you, but I don't remember if I've ever mentioned in a video how I actually got this kid to fucking quit school and leave and drop out.
No, but you sound like a fucking bully.
All right, I'll
Just
tell
what
that
you always
story
call
then.
me.
I'll tell that story. So, this is in college, right? Which, if you don't know, in Australia is year 11 and 12. That's college, and it's optional. But most people go. So it's year 11, and I'm in my art class, and there's this jock fucking guy, right? And he's a bit of a dickhead, and he thinks he's pretty cool. The problem is, I always felt bad for him because he's a jock, and he hangs out with that crew. He does sports and all that, but he's too dumb to realize that he's actually the laughing. He's the punchline for all the other jocks. Like, people just sort of, they put up with him. That he doesn't realize how obnoxious he is. And so anyway, I mean, I got along with this kid. We'd fuck around in art and with my other friends and that. We'd talk some shit. And it's eventually he was like, he's like, oh, I'm having a birthday party in December. Do you want to come? And like, me not being the social type, I was like, internally I was like, no, but out loud I was just like, yeah, sure. And so that was fine. He's like, oh, it's gonna be so great. There's gonna be fucking girls everywhere. We'll hook you up and all this sort of shit. And I'm just sat there thinking, this guy doesn't realize how unpopular he is. It's kind of sad. And I genuinely felt bad for him for it. But then out of nowhere in year 11, he just started like, cause I'd be sitting in art class. I was the cool kid. I was always to class first, like half an hour early. And people would roll in and I'd be like, oh, hey, how you going? And all that. He walks in one day. I say hello, and he just flat out ignores me. And I'm just sat there like, okay, I'll just forget about it. Like the next class, like 2 days later, he walks in. I'm like, hey, how you going, mate? And he looks in my direction and looks away and walks past and doesn't say anything. I'm just sat there. I'm like, what? But keep in mind, we're 17 years old. This is like primary school, like 7-year-old shit, not 17.
Okay.
He's just acting like a fucking child. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then so from that point on, every time class would start, I'd specifically go out of my way to say hello to him and make him look like a fuckhead for not saying hello back in front of the entire class. And the entire time he had this smug, fucking arrogant grin on his face.
God damn.
And then this goes on for like 2 months. And eventually, we're just sitting there one day, and he starts banging on to the fucking teacher about how great his birthday is going to be, and this and fucking that. And, he even says to the teacher, Jack's invited, but he hasn't fucking said a word to me in 2 months. And so, out of nowhere, I just blew up in the middle of a silent art room. I was like, mate, fuck your fucking birthday. That's the last fucking thing I'd want to do, is go to your fucking birthday that's going to be shit and hang out with you, you fuck. And I just blasted
Tear
him.
into him.
And he very quietly, he didn't even look at me. He couldn't look at me. He just sat there and looked down at his hands. And when I finished, just destroying him, he just sort of quietly stood up, put his chair in and walked off. And the teacher, who was a really cool, down-to-earth teacher, he just sort of looked at me. He's just like, what was that all about? I'm like, I was like, he invited me to his birthday and then hasn't talked to me in 2 months. And the teacher's like, oh, I can understand why you blew up then. That was fine. And so, fast forward to the end of the year, it's like the last week, he finally says hello to me. And I was, yeah, whatever. And he's like, he's like, are you gonna come to my birthday party? Just fucking, just blew up in his face again. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just destroyed him. And even still, this is what I mean. He was pretty dumb. I don't think he had anything wrong with him, but he was not the brightest.
He was just dense.
Yeah. And even after I gave out to him about it, he was still like, so you're not coming to my birthday party? Like, anyway. So that's year 11. There's a whole other second part of this story.
My God.
My friend went to his party and he said it was pretty fucking shit. So shit that the party actually moved next door to my other friend's house and they had a fucking ball there. So that's how bad it was that the party got ditched and relocated.
Lord.
So starting year 12, I had all these shit classes and I wanted to switch them around, so I switched into an art class with the same friend, and this kid was there again. And so I walked in and I was like, oh, how you going? He was all happy and chummy and all that, and I had a bit of a catch up with him, and the first thing I said was, how was your birthday party? Because I'd already been told what happened, but I wanted to get it from him.
I want to see if he'd be truthful.
And he was just like, oh yeah, it was pretty cool, man. You missed out. It was it was all this and that. And my other friend who was there just sat at the other end of the table, just head in his hands, just like shaking his head, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So anyway,
He was just
that's
happy
like
that people showed up.
yeah, that's like the start of the year. Fast forward like 6-7 months, and there's not been any big major issues. And then I don't even really remember how it started at one point, but the art room was split into 2 rooms, and I'd sit in the second room with less people because I had a big fucking physical project I was working on, and I don't even know what happened. He started getting all fucking weird again. I started to call him out on it, and then I'm sitting there one day working, and this one kid who I hung out with, who was also friends with this guy, comes from the other room from sitting next to him, and he just said, I don't even fully remember the story, but he's like, oh, such and such wanted me to tell you this. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I actually said openly out loud enough that he could hear it. I was like, what, is he fucking 12 or something? Is he a fucking, and like, berating him, and even the teacher was looking like, oh, fucking
What's
hell,
going
Jack,
on
calm
over
down.
there?
And and like, the kid's like, do you want me to just tell him anything back? And I'm like, no, I'll tell him. I'm bellowing shit out through the classroom, the silent classroom of art students. I'm bellowing shit out, just dishing it out to him. And then the guy goes back, and then like this would go on for this went on for like 2 weeks. This fucking back and forwards bullshit. And eventually the fucking, the messenger boy comes in, and he's just shaking his head. I'm like, what the fuck did he say now? And he's like, I don't even want to repeat it. I'm like, no. I was like, oh, what did he say? Like,
Whoa.
Tell me. And he would not fucking spill the beans. And meanwhile, this kid's walking back and forth through this second art room to go to where the bathroom is. And like looking the whole time, like, look, I know something you don't. You know? I'm sitting there, I'm genuinely getting pissed off. I'm starting just to abuse anyone who fucking comes into the room. Like, what the fuck did he say? Rah, rah, rah. And then I was like calling him, I was like flat, like he's sitting in the other room, I could see he was starting to get upset. And because I was just non-stop drilling him. I'm like, can someone tell me what this fucking pussy said about me? Going fucking wild. And so eventually, the messenger boy talks him into coming and telling me face to face what it was. Because I was giving out, I'm like, oh, if he was a real fucking man, he'd be man enough to come and tell me. I was no holds barred. Because at that point in time, I did not give a fuck what people thought of me. Like, even my closest friends are like, oh, Jack, that's a bit much, calm down. He comes into the room, and he's just, and I'm just like, all right, what
What have you done?
What have you said? And he's just like, Jack, you're a pussy eater. And he ran off like a little kid.
Like that's an insult.
Yeah, that was his fucking insult. And the messenger boy pissed himself laughing. All my friends started laughing. Man, I saw fucking red. Not because I was insulted, but just like, that's what's been going. All of that fucking around for that. Man, he ran off. and he come back, and the second he walked through that door, oh my god, I've never dished out a word thrashing that brutal in my life before or
It's
since.
fucking fucked up.
It was insane, and it got to the point where people went from laughing because it was so funny to just being like,
Oh my god.
like, Jack, stop, like, and I was like, no, fuck him, fuck rah, you fucking pussy, fucking bitch, rah. I was giving it to this kid, and he just stood there like a fucking scolded dog with his head down, like he was just in shock, and I was like, my most of my insults were just like, how could you be such a pathetic fucking pussy?
Well, yeah,
like,
I mean,
are you a child or are you a fucking 18? We're 18 at this point. Like, you're a fucking adult.
yeah, you're legally
Act like it.
adults.
And it finished, and again, he sort of looked down at his feet and quietly stood up and walked off and went to the bathroom. And it's like the end of the day, and like, my friend is like, Jack, that was just too much. That was not cool. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I just like flip it out again. I'm like, I don't fucking care. And then next thing, there was reports that he was in the bathroom crying.
Oh my fuck.
That I'd hurt his feelings so much. And someone come from the bathroom to me and said, oh, he's in there crying. And I yelled out, good, keep fucking crying, you sissy bitch, or something. And out of the corner of my eye, like 5 minutes later, I seen him sneak out the back door and leave. And as I seen him, I was like, yeah, fucking leave, you piss weak bitch, or something.
Oh my god.
Because I was just so fucking fed up with this cunt. Like, how, the nerve of you to
Call me a pussy eater.
the nerve of the guy to think he's so much better than me that he can, like, fuck about and like just
That he
snob
can
me
say
for
something
fucking
and
7
not own
months
up
or
to
whatever, you know, like, that's the part about that pissed me off, like, because
Yeah.
he clearly had like a superiority complex over me because he played sport and he had girls go to
that'll
his
do
party. Bullshit, that's a lie. That didn't happen at all, you know. And then he just stopped showing up to class, and we had like 2 months of school left. And then every lesson I was like, where is he? Where is he? And then eventually I got report that like, oh, he dropped out after, like, specifically because of that. Like, the shame hit him so bad that day that he didn't want to come back to school.
Oh my god.
And all my friends are like, oh, are you happy with yourself, Jack? I'm just like, yeah, fucking oath. Like, if he's that much, like, if he's fucking, it's like toughen up, princess, you know what I mean? Like, if he's that piss weak, then fucking good riddance was my fucking
Good
words.
riddance.
And then so a month goes by again. It's like the last month of school, and there's like this footbridge that goes over a highway that's an exit and an entrance.
Oh god.
And I'm walking over there one day leaving,
Okay.
and I spot him coming the other direction, and he hasn't been seen at the school for like 6 weeks at this point. And I spot him, and I see him spot me, and he immediately just looks away, like, out of pure fear. And I just could not resist. I was just like, hey, how you going, mate? What happened? Where have you been? Like, just being all chummy, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And he just ignored me and walked past. Like, I gave him the chance to be like, oh yeah, I'm good, nice to see you, and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't, and so on this footbridge, one of the most public areas of the school, I was just like, yeah, you still a fucking pussy bitch, or whatever I fucking said. And that was it. That's the last I ever saw of him. And I know I don't feel bad for it because
God, he's probably dead now.
he's probably got severe, like, social anxiety
God.
disorders or some shit.
Fucking Jesus. Hopefully he never finds your YouTube, or else he's gonna have like PTSD. So like he's everywhere.
The whole reason I was so brutal with him, though, is that it was like the cheek of you to fucking, how dare you call me a pussy eater for one, but the cheek of you to run around and think you're better than everyone else, and you're fucking God's gift, and you're this and that, and be fucking rude to me, and and like try your fucking damn hardest to embarrass me, which didn't really work. That backfired just a little bit. You know what I mean? It was just like,
Yeah, I get you.
I just wanted to come to school and be left the fuck alone to do my shit. And at that point in time, like in high school, I didn't say a whole lot, and so once I got to college, I was just like, did not give a fuck at all. And yeah, he's wrong place, wrong time. That was
Jesus.
a long story.
He
that
was
like half an
caught
hour.
in the fucking tidal wave.
He
of
look,
rage.
he walked in front of my crosshairs
Yeah.
and pulled the trigger himself. That's how fucking that idiot docile fuck like
Moron.
yeah. Like, so yeah, I'm kind of a bully in that sense, but fuck me, the shit he tried to pull, like, you know. Like, we'd just be sitting in class. He's the sort of guy that we'd just be sitting in class. Everyone's having a good time, working away. It's fucking art. How can you not enjoy art class? And out of nowhere, he'd just come up with some fucking thing to try and embarrass you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the sort of shit he'd do to me. And it's like, just build up and up and up. And eventually he got it back. And he couldn't fucking handle it. So fuck him.
God, you make me look like a nice guy, man.
That's probably the worst, like, bashing I've ever done.
Jeez, let's hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I better stay off Twitter. I'm in the mood now. No, I'm kidding.
Let's hope you don't meet any medieval fans in real life.
At the end of the Enter the Dragonfly review, where I did that big rant and my face just goes bright red. This fucking fucked up fucking whore kind of a fucking fucked up sadistic fucker's motherfucking wet fucking dream. My face goes so red, that's what I looked like when I was fucking just dishing it out to this guy.
God.
I blew the fuck up, and all my friends were just in shock because they'd never seen that out of me before.
Usually he's pretty nice, but damn.
Usually he just sits there and doesn't say much. He might say fuck once in a while, but that's about it. So yeah.
See, I don't have any stories like that. I don't have any entertaining. It's just, oh, I went to school, I came home. Like,
I'm sure you've got some that would be entertaining. You just don't think they're entertaining.
dude, I can't think of anything. That's the problem.
But yeah, I hope that story was standard. I'm exhausted now reliving that. Jesus.
God, man. Gotta go to sleep.
That's the gist of my school stories. Just give it out to people and just being a cunt.
Fuck.
Oh fuck! I know I've told lots of those stories before.
They're good though.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Well, that's all the questions we've got for this month's podcast. We hope you enjoyed this month's podcast. Be sure to leave us some more questions and discussion topics in the comments below for next time. And yeah, let us know what you thought about this episode.
Or else we'll kill you.
Or else we'll kill you. Or else we'll just berate you in front of the class.
Or else Jack will come to your school. You'll call him a pussy eater. And he will just tear you a new asshole.
Man, what was he thinking? That's like the... That's more of a compliment than an
He must
insult.
know
What a
nothing.
fuckhead.
Like, he must know nothing. I bet you kiss girls. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's the level it was
I
on.
bet you have sex all the time. Like,
Oh, fuck.
okay.
Oh, I bet you're not a lonely fuck like me. But yes, we hope you enjoyed this month's podcast, and we hope you have a great fucking day.